All right, welcome back into the Newport This Week video podcast series. I'm Bill Bartholomew. Today, a profound story that ran in the paper this week, and I read from this story titled "Speegle Family Ready to Amp Up for Surf Event." It's a James Marola piece. You'll find it in the paper, and I want to pull this exact quote here because I think it's just so emblematic. This from the story. To say the Speegle family wants to make life better for the physically and mentally challenged is like saying Newport beaches are pretty. It's a universal level of praise that is well deserved. And I think, I commend you on so many different levels for what your work is. Justin Speegle joins us and talk about the project, talk about AmpSurf and your background.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Yeah, I am. I'm really excited to be here and talk about AmpSurf. It's one of my favorite topics, and it's been such a blessing for our family. We, I served in the military my whole career for 28 years, and as I was approaching the end of my career, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life post retirement. And I've been a surfer my whole life, and I saw an article about adaptive surfing while I was traveling one time, and it really piqued my interest. And so I wanted to learn more about it. It was very young back then. It was in its infancy. And so I learned a little bit about it. I volunteered with a couple of different organizations that came to Virginia Beach, where I was stationed at the time. And then I thought, I want to try to do something like that in Rhode Island when I retire here. And fortunately, I found AmpSurf. They had been here since 2008, and they had a couple of events up in Maine and Massachusetts every summer. And I thought, well, this is great. I'm going to just help them out. That'll be a way to get into this. And from there, we decided, well, I don't like driving all the way up to Maine and Massachusetts to do this. Let's try to bring it down here to Rhode Island. And since then, we've expanded the chapter here. The New England chapter of AmpSurf now covers Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, and not we service Connecticut people, but they come to Rhode Island to surf because there's no good surf in Connecticut.
Yeah, one of the many things that we like to take pride in here in Rhode Island, particularly Newport County over Connecticut, is that statement you just made right there. This is a really profound statement from the story in the paper this week as well. Veterans suffering with PTSD often identify themselves as broken or a warrior without a war. The culture of surfing gives them a new way to see themselves. You said that quote, flesh that out for us, and how on a personal level you got into this work.
Absolutely. That's one of the great things about surfing. It's not just standing up on a board and riding a wave. There's a whole culture of surfing. It's how you dress, it's how you talk, it's what you're thinking about, what you're looking at online. And when you get the taste of that, you've never seen it before, and all of a sudden you get a taste of it, and you're like, oh, I can see what this culture is about. It really sucks you in. And it's a great way to for somebody that is kind of struggling with their identity post a traumatic incident to re-identify themselves. And it's at first I thought AmpSurf would do something cool by taking somebody surfing for a day, and now I like to think of it as we're making surfers. We're taking people that aren't surfers and giving them the opportunity to embrace the culture and become surfers, and that changes their whole perspective on life. They no longer are thinking about things that are depressing, and they start to think about, I can't wait till the next time I'm going surfing. What kind of board should I get? Maybe I can go on a surf trip. Where's a good place to go? All these things like that. And it really can be positive influence on their lives.
It's an incredible story, and it's something that I think surf culture, like, I can relate to it in music. I think there's a handful of things that tap into that sort of innate human experience, the adventure, the community, the culture, the travel, and just the anticipation and the uncertainty, because of course you're working with nature. I mean, who knows what each and every day is like, what each and every wave is like. And there's a sense of adventure there that is stimulating and inspiring. And again, I think this is just such a profound operation that you have going, for lack of a better term. You work on this with your daughter, Emma. Talk about that.
Yeah, so Emma was the one that decided that we needed to stop traveling all the way to Maine and New Hampshire. So when she was a senior in high school, they had that senior project, and so she's like, well, maybe we can have an AmpSurf event here at Second Beach. And I'm like, well, let's see, what's the new event checklist look like? And there wasn't one. We basically had to create it from scratch. So Emma did a lot of groundwork. She got some sponsors. She got worked with the town of Middletown to get a permit to go ahead and do the event there. And then she got all of her classmates involved. And it turned out, and the great thing about it, her event was done in September. So she had the entire rest of her senior year to not worry about her senior project. And it really went well. It was the first event, and it's been going on strong ever since 2017 now at Middletown at Second Beach. And it's by far the best event we do of the year here in New England because of the local participation and the local sponsors that we have here. And some of those sponsors are the people that Emma found, back in 2017. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
Now, the other benefit was, it gives a father and daughter something to do together. And it gives a daughter in high school a focus to her life. I mean, she didn't know what she wanted to do back when she was in high school, but when she started working with veterans and people with disabilities, she felt so good. The volunteering just makes you feel so good, and she wanted to do that. She wanted to pursue that more, and so she decided to go to nursing school, and she became a nurse, and now she works at the VA in Providence, and she still gets to do a lot of the AmpSurf events with us. So it's really been a great experience for our family.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal aspect of it as well. You mentioned those sponsors, and generally on this show, we don't really shout out sponsors or anything like that, but I think it's worth it. It's in the story in the paper. Food Shack on Aquinic Island, pardon me, Food Shack on Aquinic Avenue, Island Surf and Sport, Dell's Lemonade, Custom House Coffee, and Sweetberry Farm among your sponsors. And when you sponsor an event like this, obviously there's a marketing angle to everything that a decision maker makes at some level. I mean, but at the end of the day, you're a community partner, and it does speak to just the engagement level on a community basis in terms of a veteran basis, the disabled community, for lack of a better term, that is on the part of those sponsors. So going forward, what kind of relationships, partnerships, community support do you seek? What do you want people to know that might see this video and say, you know what, I want to get involved in this? What would their contribution or their volunteer time do to help bolster this project?
Absolutely. Well, we have our event coming up next week, and we are actually pretty short on water helpers, people to get in the water and help with this event. And we can't do this without volunteers. We can't do it without our sponsors. And so we want people that live here in the community to come out and experience this event. Like I said, it is life-changing. You come to the beach and you help somebody with disability experience the joy and healing power of surfing, and it just changes your life, and you're pretty much on a great posts helping somebody high for the rest of the week, and you just want to get involved in it more. Things that AmpSurf could use particularly are support with like places to keep our equipment. We have a 20-foot box trailer that we don't really have a place to keep it over the winter, and Ocean Point Christian Church has been really great in letting us park in their parking lot, and that's been good. But they're repaving it, so that's gonna go away for us in the future. So things like that are challenges that we deal with. But yeah, there's lots of ways to get involved, and I would encourage people just to come down and volunteer at the event or look at it and see how they can get involved, and we'll figure something out. I mean, we're a grassroots organization completely run on volunteers and sponsor and donations, and we can use everything that we can get. We can always find a way to make somebody's contribution count.
That's such a that sort of nimble approach, the grassroots nimble approach there is something that also I'm sure helps fuel the fire a little bit, and just being able to, how can we, using this word, deploy the resources that we have in front of us the most impactful way. Justin Speegle, AmpSurf, first of all, thanks for your service. Second of all, thanks for your contribution to our community here. It's I think I've used this word 4 times now, but it's profound. And I think we use that word too loosely. This is a really profound and important project, and you should be commended for it. On the screen, you can see ampsurf.org. That makes the call to action easy. How else can people get in touch with you? I obviously visit the website. Is there anything else, social media or anything like that you'd like to push?
Yeah, you can sign up for this event on Eventbrite, and if you look at the Facebook post on the comments, I put the link to signing up to the event there. The event is full for participants, for people with disabilities. I want to encourage that not to turn people off. If you have a disability and you want to come check out the event, come down to the beach and just watch, because oftentimes somebody won't show up and we can get you in. And oftentimes, if you see what we do, then it will make you understand how easy it is and how much you can not be afraid of, signing up. It's unfortunate that it's full already, but I think there's still opportunities. And we have another event in a couple of weeks in Westerly that still has some participate openings also.
All right,
Thanks. I
yeah,
appreciate the opportunity to share this.
absolutely a real pleasure. Thank you so much.